With this tutorial, we're going to create the splash that comes out of the bottle and the condensation drips that are on the edges of the bottle. This is kind of an important component in integrating this 3D bottle into the photo environment that we have here. So each of these will be comprised of 3 different layers addressing the 3 values that appear in them. I'm starting out by adding a new layer, and I'm going to use the pen tool. I'll hit P on the keyboard, and I'm going to make sure that in the upper left hand corner on the option window it's set for path. And in here I'll start to create the path I want. And I'm just going to go in and make sure that I don't have any of these little anomalies that don't really reflect the way fluid might move across the surface. With the path created, I'll right-click inside the shape with the pen tool and choose Make Selection. I'll click OK. I'm going to start out with a light yellow, and this would be contingent upon your actual project, the colors you would use. And I'll go ahead and I'll use Option Delete to fill that layer, and I'm going to add a new layer, and I'll now get a darker value. I'm going to use kind of a sepia brown considering the file I'm using. I'm going to get my brush tool and I'll use a soft edge, and I'm going to bump up the brush size, and I'll just go along the outside perimeter of the selection. Now for the drip that goes down inside the bottle, I'll reduce the size of the brush and try to work just the outside edge of this. So essentially I'm using values that are contingent upon the color that I'm using for my file. I'll add one last layer. I'll name it White Reflection. So I'm going to go to Select, Modify, Contract, and I'm going to contract it 20, and then I'm going to get white, and I'll reduce my brush size. With the white reflection, we would probably see an inconsistency because of the way the light hits it. So it might be larger in some spots and maybe no white in other spots. I'm going to hide the selection. It's a little easier to work that way. And with the one going into the bottle, I'll just do one side of the selection. And because we're working on separate layers, we have the opportunity now to play with the opacity, blur it, blend modes. All these things are options, and this would all be contingent upon your file. Now I'm going to go in and probably drop the opacity of the yellow layer. I'll leave the brown layer as it is. I'm going to go to the white layer now, and I'm going to convert it to a smart object because I want to play with the blur on this. So once I've done that, I'll go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and I'll bump that up so it's not so harsh and graphic on the edge that I painted against. I'll click OK. Now I'm going to put a layer mask on that. I'll get my brush, and I'd probably go in and start to maybe knock out a few spots here where it might seem a little too over the top, or if it seems too harsh, I can knock out the edges as well. Once I have what I want here, I could merge all of these layers together, and then I could use a layer mask to blend it in with the bottle itself.